The Hastings National Weather Service recently hosting a Partner Day event with county emergency managers, also some local officials and the media. That's where a number of topics were discussed. Warning Coordination Meteorologist Mike Moritz joins us for more on that partner event. Mike, why do you think these partner events are really important, and just how important is it to maintain those key relationships with the local emergency managers?
The emergency management staff is really our number one partner. They're so important to the safety of the community. When you think of community events or disasters or post-disaster recovery, they're key to that. And weather plays a big role. We've seen that across the state of Nebraska and throughout the Midwest. They're just one of our partners, though. We're working closely with the media, transportation, health, all kinds of people, because weather plays a big role in just different facets of our lives. We can't get the message out without the help of our partners. Even like KRVN, you are so important to helping people stay safe. And so that's why we want to maintain that key relationship.
One of the things that was discussed at the meeting were some changes coming to the National Weather Service. Everybody, of course, sees some change somewhere or another. Talk about the changes at the National Weather Service over the last year, but also how it's going to improve things in the future.
Yeah, well, we've obviously, many people have heard about some of the changes in staffing at the National Weather Service across the country. We've seen impacts of that here on the plains. Now we're in a little bit different position here in the latter half of the year. National Weather Service staff has been designated as safety employees by the president. And so that's going to allow for some direct hiring authority to begin to fill some of the vacancies that were opened up over the last year or so. We'll be able to bring more meteorologists, more technicians, more electronic staff, hydrologists into the Weather Service family over the coming months. And that will keep those staffing levels where we need them at our local offices, that we can serve rural Nebraska, rural Kansas, and get that information out when you need it, because weather's really local. It really is. And so we really want to maintain that service level as best we can.
And one of those changes that will help is AI.
Yeah, like everybody else, AI, the buzzword. We're learning about it here. We really didn't have much authority to use it until the recent few months, but it's already played a role in weather modeling and weather forecasting around the world, not just in the Weather Service. So some of this AI weather data is available online, and it's proven to be pretty decent. Now, some of it's not perfect as well. AI has to learn. I have been around for a long time, 30 some years. I recognize weather patterns pretty well. AI is going to have to learn that. I think there's some real opportunities going forward to help us be more efficient when we process data and go back and look at data and review storms, so that going forward, we have more options for our forecast probabilities so we can get a better forecast out there.
Talking right now with Warning Coordination Meteorologist Mike Moritz of the Hastings National Weather Service. Mike, fall is upon us. How is that fall weather pattern looking for us?
It's going to be interesting. I hate to say exactly what's going to happen, but we've been a little wet recently, and that looks to continue through much of this week. But as we go into, I think, about the middle part of October, we're going to see more of the traditional fall dry weather. We're moving out of this wetter weather pattern to a drier, I think potentially warmer weather pattern mid-October to roughly mid-November, maybe Thanksgiving. After that, it might turn a little more winter-like. I think that warmer, drier fall weather that some people really look forward to is on the horizon. And to have it for a few weeks long, we're probably going to have to get to about mid-October to see it.
And probably finally get rid of some of the humidity that's been lingering here in September.
Yeah, it's kind of been a pain, hasn't it? I mean, we had such nice weather at the end of August. It was so out of character. And then we see this rain and the humidity comes back. And if you're like me, the mosquitoes have been horrible. We want to stop that, right? So once we see this wetter pattern kind of end a little bit, we'll start to bring that drier air in. We're getting close to the fall freeze season, so that will also help as well.
Drought conditions are improving. How is that looking?
We've actually had a really good year when it comes to the drought across Nebraska. I know some people are concerned. I understand that. But where we were in May with large parts of the state in extreme or exceptional drought to where we are now with really much, about 2/3 of Nebraska nearly drought free, and with recent rains helping that further, we're in a much better place than where we were just a little while ago. Probably our biggest concern, though, on the fall is the Panhandle region. We just haven't seen consistent moisture out there, and it's going to take several rain and snow events to help them improve dramatically.
And if it gets too dry, possibly some concerns with fire since there are a lot of fuels out there.
Yeah, exactly. You talk about a lot of fuel. When we get a lot of rain, we grow a lot of grass, things grow. That's fuel for fire. Right now, actually, things are fairly green because of the recent rain. But as we get into fall here and we freeze for that first time, and then that drier weather pattern sets in, all of that nice green grass now will turn to brown, cured fuel. Like every season in the fall, we would expect a couple days probably where wildfires could be a problem. We talk about that with our partners frequently, that this is what we need to watch for. The exceptionally strong high wind days when record temperatures occur with high winds, those are days that wildfires become a problem. And so we try to help our partners be ready for that.
And the National Weather Service has added some tools in detecting those wildfires.
Yeah, so for the last few years, we've been sending out text messages and emails to our local fire department, fire chiefs, and emergency management, and then state fire officials on locations of wildfires. Now, this is a satellite-driven product. A lot of investment the last 10 years in satellites now is leading toward 1-minute satellite data that can see hot spots, which are fires essentially. That's very important in rural areas. Think of the sandhills in central Nebraska with limited population. Not everybody sees the fire, but the satellite can see it as long as those clouds aren't in the way. We can take that information and quickly send it to the local authorities. They can determine the risk. They can get out there earlier, and that's the key to a wildfire. If you're on it early, it can control it. You can save a lot of trouble in the long run. So it's been a really valuable tool.
That's Warning Coordination Meteorologist Mike Moritz talking about the recent Partner Day hosted by the Hastings National Weather Service. Also, what to expect these early days of fall. For more, you can check out the social media for the National Weather Service in Hastings or go to weather.gov. I'm Paul Perkins on the Rural Radio Network.